Hey everybody, it's Jane.
And Mike.
From Earth Care Farm. It's been a while since we did a video, Poppy. It's April, and we want to share with you what's happening in our garden. We had a question yesterday from customer Eric, thanks Eric for this, about onions. And so we thought we'd share with you what we know about onions, which is a little bit. I'm sure there's more out there.
Jane will tell you a lot of practical stuff, and I'll give you a little Easter trivial stuff about onions.
I never know what Poppy's going to say, and I always love it. So onions, actually, in my hand, I have some onion seeds. They're super tiny. They're like the size of poppy seeds, and they take a long time to grow to full size. They look like that. And so what we do is in February, we start seeds. Pretty early in February, we start seeds, and this time of year, they look like this. They look like these little strands of grass. So the seed grows, and then one seedling becomes this little tiny, it looks like a little blade of grass. This is actually ready to plant. We're going to be planting these this weekend. I don't think I've ever planted when it wasn't raining for onions.
April.
Back when I was like 15 years old, I can remember planting in the rain. So
April showers.
Yep. If you want to join me this weekend planting onions in the rain in your own garden, looks like that's the weather we're going to have. Another way to buy onions, so you can grow this early if you have lights or a greenhouse. If you don't, you can buy onion sets. They look like this, and plant them, get that little head start. Also, they go in the ground this time of year. Onions are day length. They grow according to the day length. So they stop growing when we reach peak sun, which is like, end of July there. Yeah. So they'll be at the size they are. So the earlier you can get the head start, the bigger they're going to be come late summer. So we're going to show you how we get these in the ground. These always look sad like this when you buy sets, but as soon as you get them in the ground, they really start taking off, and you don't have to be worried that they won't grow. Like, they look sad, but they're going to be beautiful. Especially
if you have good soil, they take off.
Totally. Behind me, you'll see I planted these yesterday. This is a row of onions, and then it did rain last night, so they got watered in nicely. But we'll show you, how we did that. The other things coming up, we have some beautiful spinach that overwintered from last fall. We have spinach in the high tunnel that is just much greener than this spinach, which is like, just starting to get the warm temps. In the high tunnel, it's beautiful and green, and we've been harvesting all winter. And then yesterday I noticed there's like lots of sprouts. So alliums is the big family that onions are in. And also in the onion family are leeks and shallots and garlic. Garlic being one of my favorite crops to grow. And I've been finding little garlic seedlings popping up here and there. I don't know where they appear from, little volunteer ones. And the green tops, if they're somewhere where you don't want them right now, they're delicious right now. So I'm going to show you where we have one of those.
Yeah, most all parts of the garlic are edible, yes. Yeah. Anyway, since it's Easter time, I'll tell you a little trivia about onions. You all know the Easter lily. Well, onions are in the lily family. Jane mentioned that also the onions are with garlic and leeks. And what was the other thing you mentioned?
Shallots
and chives. But they're all in the onion. The onion family is in the onion grouping of alliums are in the lily family, like Easter lilies. And the man who came up with these distinctions was Carl Linnaeus, I think is his name, from in the 1700s. This guy must have been a real naturalist and extremely observant, because he put all plants in families with genuses and species and subspecies. And the man was amazing, and then he gave them Latin names, and it still stands to this day, where if you have a friend in another country, sometimes you call the same plant different things. But this man, I think it was from Sweden, came up with this plant identification system, and it's remarkable. So onions are in the lily family. That's a little...
Allium family, too. It's called the...
Allium family. Yeah. That's a little Easter trivial. And on one other note, I wanted to say that since it's Easter, we'll just have a little drop of farmyard spirituality here, since you're interested in regenerative farming. There's a head scratcher that most everyone's heard about, is what came first, the chicken or the egg? And when you really reflect and ponder on that, you kind of come up with the primacy of non-physical reality. I know this sounds a little strange and it's funny, but that non-physical reality is always with you, and that's the Easter treat. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so here's like the little garlic volunteer that came up that I noticed. And so I'm just gonna pull it out, and it looks like this. Smells amazing. And what I've been doing with these is just cutting off the roots, washing them really nicely, and whole roasting them with little olive oil and salt. It's so delicious. It's really a nice treat to have. It was in the curry that I made last night, Dad.
And it was delicious.
Yeah, we made a little vegan curry, so really nice. I'm just gonna make up a little section of this bed to show you what I did over here. It looked just like this. It had plants from last year growing in it, which congratulations if you still have plants from last year growing in it. Doesn't mean you're lazy, it means you were thinking about pollinators hibernating in these stems over the winter, and the nice roots that are down here feeding the soil microbes under there. Pretty cool. So we're gonna do this little section here. Quick little pull these out.
I'll take that.
Thanks, Poppy. I'm gonna shape up the bed a little bit. Just use my handy dandy rake. Nothing fancy. I don't have to turn up the soil because it hasn't been walked on or compacted at all, so it's nice and friable, tillable. Nice tillage. Okay, I'm gonna smooth the top of the bed over. And then just to give it a little boost, because there wasn't a lot of plant coverage on this bed this winter, I'm gonna give it some of our raised bed mix, which is such a nice treat for the soil. This is what it looks like. This is our Earth Care Farm raised bed mix. We find for making a compost, the more ingredients you add into that compost, like lots of different types of food scraps and lots of different animal manures and things from the ocean, like seaweed and shellfish and fish bones, and
the more diversity of clean organic matter, the better your compost winds up.
Wide variety of minerals and nutrients, and nice. So just a little topping, because this is a pretty rich soil already. Take my handy dandy rake again, just gonna flatten it out. And then we want to make our onion furrows. Super fancy word for just a little line in the soil where our onion sets are gonna go. I kind of start with my line here. My son sharpened the end of my rake for me, which is really sweet and thoughtful and nice to do if you can do that. So I use it like that a lot. I think I'm gonna do a little bit more of a furrow, just using this part of the rake. It's so nice to get in the ground again. It's been a long winter. One of the best ice winters we've had in a while. The pond was frozen for many weeks. Haven't had that in a while. All right, there's some nice little furrows. And then I'll just show you I'll show you both ways with my little ones we did from seed. My little cute little onions. I'm just gonna use my hand and stick them in. We're gonna get a nice rain tomorrow, so they'll get watered in. And we put them about 4 inches apart.
So tiny.
I know, and they'll be so tough they can make it. This is a smaller size onion. If you're doing the Walla Wallas, those big, beautiful, sweet ones, which we do have some sets for, I'd give them at least 6 inches. But these are the smaller ones that only need about 4. And for me, I found this is 4 inches. So that's how I kind of measure. Pretty easy. Handy. I'm gonna get the set so I'll show you the difference.
Oops.
You're good. This is a Patterson onion. I'm wondering if they're from Patterson, New Jersey, because there are quite a few.
That's not a very agricultural type of place. But
okay, maybe not then. It was, wasn't it, at one time?
It was been a city for a long, long time.
All right, I'll have to look that up. But anyway, that's how we did it. Got my onions sets from seed. You can do this at home. We have lots of extra onion plants if you need to get some from here. We have some this weekend. Beautiful raised bed mix, beautiful soil, wisdom from an elder generation, and lots of love and pets. So,
yes.
Thank you to everybody.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back.